Born and raised here in the UK. I've been coming to Jalsa literally all my life. Early years I cannot remember. I was too young when Jalsa used to be in an area. I can't remember the area name, but we used to hire the place with the Jamaat and go there. But I was too young for that. See it in pictures. Then we bought Islamabad, and then we had all the work going on, the maintenance, and then Jalsas started to happen there. So I remember it from a very young age. With my brothers, with my family, with our Jamaat, we used to do Bukhari Amal in all capacities. Our work used to, back then, work used to start many weeks before. We used to clean up the site, we used to do the weeding, cutting the bushes, any work that painting the toilets, painting the mosque, whatever needed doing. So we've been doing that since a very young age. And yes, back then things were slightly different. Jalsas happened, yeah, with some of the earlier Jalsas. I remember when I was very, very young, in the 80s, 84, 85, there was a really bad rainstorm. I think Jalsa was in April times, and all the cars in Islamabad, in Tilford, got stuck. And it was us all helping, all the boys from East London was all pushing the coaches out, covered in mud, head to toe, got home very late. Very similar to what we have today. After that, we got through, you learn from each challenge. Well, obviously, I'm not in the higher levels, but you could see the infrastructure changes as the years went on. So from the time when I remember we had a rainstorm and during Hazur's speech the lights went out in the main marquee to the infrastructure that we have today. How we've got the electrical system all around the site, how we've got the gas system, and you can see the transition that's come through. Yes, we have mud challenges. We had mud challenges before. We know we've dealt with them. Even in Islamabad days, when the mud, even in Ishtabaz, when it used to get too bad, they'd bring gravel in or hay or something to dampen the mud down. They're doing that again. We've done it from experience. We have tracks laid out, so you can see the Jamaat, the people who are in maintenance team are doing this and doing a really good job. So yeah, experience-wise, I think we've worked in so many different capacities in Jalsa. I can't name a single one. As I said, there's too many to name. As you know from my days of being a Naib Regional Qaid, I'm very passionate about our youngsters, extremely passionate, and keeping them on the straight and narrow in the current environments is an even bigger challenge for us, with all the external pressures that we have, whether it be social media, whether it be other external influences. So keeping our youth with us while we're working, while we're doing the hard grind, they can see, it's called dignity of labour, they can see we're doing something for the pleasure of Allah and for serving humanity, serving the Jamaat in any way. This is Jalsa, we're serving. We do charity walk serving. Serving meaning in whatever capacity. We do events throughout the year, to name but a few. That East region, we actively work with the Royal British Legion every year. We do the poppy collections at the railway stations in London. So as you can see, the team behind me who's in the food serving, they're all part of that. So you have the children with us, and it starts training them from a young age because they want to then get involved because they want to be part of it. How does that transpire outside? I can only tell you my story, might be a story or not, but last year, 3 days before lockdown in March, I came down with the symptoms of COVID-19. I had the temperature, I had the cough which lasted for 2 weeks. My body felt completely fatigued, and I felt it. I consider myself reasonably fit and healthy, but I felt the effects. My concern was that there are people out there who will not fare as well as I did. So I made an active decision. Our Jamaat work, from my memories, is all about serving your community, serving humanity, serving mankind. So I had to put myself forward because that's what our motto is. How can I be not doing that? So I reached out to a charity called Age UK in Enfield, their Enfield chapter. They helped my mother and father a lot in their latter years in life. So I've got an attachment with them. So I asked them if they needed any help. I was delivering medicines for all the elderly who were shielding for 3 months. So I was going around all the pharmacies, collecting their medications, and then delivering them to their doors. Then we moved on to food service. So a lot of these pensioners were living on their own. Meals on Wheels was not working. So charities were cooking food and delivering. So then I was part of that effort as well. This is all within my local area. Moved on from that, and then I was supplying the charity with raw materials so that they could cook various things, rice, pasta, etc. Moved on from there, then I started work with the North London NHS clinic, and we set up a COVID centre in a theatre, a production theatre in Enfield Town, and that's an official NHS COVID centre. So I've been marshalling there on the weekends since about January, vaccinating all the public that's coming in. Every work that I'm doing is all been because of the upbringing that we have, the work ethic that we have, and the ethic that's instilled in us to do something for somebody else for nothing. It's the simplest phrase to put it down to. Doing something for somebody else for no material gain for yourself. That, in my sense, is serving humanity. And that's what we've been doing, and that's what we are as a Jamaat. We instill that. Look, if you look around, thousands of us workers, and that's how we get our youngsters in, working with us, and they learn from us, and they eventually lead on to bigger and better things. You want to know how these things help you in your private life? I myself, I'm an IT consultant, and the way that we learn how to communicate with each other, the way we learn how to organize it, methodical, organizational, problem solving, this is what I do for a living on a day-to-day basis. So it's hand in hand. What I've learned here, because remember, I learned this a lot earlier than I learned my job. So I've been doing this since the age of 5, 6 years old, and you can see how it. And you could be in any your vocation could be anything, your profession could be anything, but it's that mindset of work ethic, serving humanity, and then the skills that we pick up. Like, you will have people who are not maybe plumbers, but they're working with the maintenance team, sorting out the plumbing, etc. Look at us. I don't work in the fast food or any sort of food industry, and yet here I am. I'm serving with my team here food, and we call it the dietary requirement. So we serve food for those who have a specific dietary requirement. I've served in other capacities as well, and the skill set is so broad, and you're picking up different skills doing different things, and that's the beauty of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, that we are able to work in these different areas, and we're picking up those skills. We don't have to be qualified, but we're learning, and we use that skill in our outside world, and that's how the two are hand in hand, and in my opinion they are one.
Make sure to like, comment below and subscribe to our YouTube channel and other channels for the latest content.